Hey y'all, welcome back to Jay's Jeep and Classic Car channel. Today we're going to be working on breaking loose the U-bolts that are holding the spring on the passenger front corner. We have one of the U-bolts broke actually, and so we need to take it off, and I've actually bought two U-bolts to replace them both. And so the goal today before supper is just to get it off, at least the broken one, and get the other one kind of loosened up and maybe put the new one on if I have time. So we're going to see what we can do. I kind of got it jacked up. It was on the that's a hickory nut falling right there. I had it on the shock tower. I've jacked it up and moved it, the jack stand back to hit on the frame. Still have tension there on the hogshead, front hogshead, just as a redundant safety. I don't want this coming back down on me, and I know that I'm going to have to wrench on it pretty good. Let's get to it. Also, you can see I got the big breaker bar out. I've got the big pipe out because I tried to hit these earlier with the little impact wrench that I have, and it was no-go. So we're going to have to get some brute force on this bad boy. Alright, here we go. So we're going after this one right here. If you can see the other side, let me pull that flashlight out. You should be able to see that the other side's broken off, and it ain't supposed to be like that. So we got the breaker bar. This is 5/8, and we're just going to put the old extra force on there. There we go. There it goes. Come on, brake. Oh yeah, there it goes. It's starting to turn now. So we are not going to take the back one off yet until we get the front one secured. I don't want this thing dropping on me, and that's what I'm afraid will happen if I take them all off at the same time. And with the week I've had, I wouldn't be surprised if it did that anyway. Why is this not turning? This should turn now. There's the old one. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So now we gotta take that clip out. I'm probably gonna back this fitting back out so I can move that brake line out of the way and not damage it, is the idea. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. Normally I would use a flare nut wrench, but I just can't get it in there. It's too tight of a space. And those are hickory nuts just dropping off the tree. That's not anybody else. I don't know if you can hear that, all those dropping or not, but alright, so that brake line's free. I'm going to give that a little 11, and she is free. There she goes. Alright, so somehow we got to figure out how to get that off from around there. And I'm guessing this probably got bent at some point, the way it's kind of acting. There we go. It was just finding the right angle. So there you go, you can kind of see it. One side's not like the other. Yeah, that's been broken for a while. So probably been broken before I even pulled it out of Michigan. but I just didn't like having that broken and only one U-bolt really holding that the axle to the springs and all. I really didn't want that to come off at some point and be driving it and face the consequences of that. So just a little tip here, and I actually pulled this tip from WillisJeepParts.com. If you can kind of see under here, let's put the light on it. If you call this 1, 2, 3, that hole right there, 3 and 4. When you torque these down, you want to do 1, 4, 2, 3, and you want to take it to a partial torque on each of those in that pattern, and then you want to go ahead and tighten it down to the to the torque that you need for that. So that's what we're going to be doing here, but first I'm just going to kind of attach it and kind of get it snugged up and get everything lined up, and then we'll work on the back side. Alright, so we have our replacements here, and if you look, one is narrower than the other. The reason is that the wider one will go right here, so the one we need is this one right here. I'm going to have to get some sort of angle on it. And it's interesting, the new ones don't kind of have that flat spot in there like the old ones did. Don't really know the difference. Why? Just know it ain't there. I have no idea what the proper technique. I'm sure I'm not using a proper technique for this right now. That one's in there. That one is not. This makes for fun. So it'll go and get the right angle. Alright, so we kind of got it started. It's going in. But y'all see the next problem? That's right here. It's going to run into that. And I don't exactly know what to do about that. There we go. Hammer. It's starting to go down now. Now, I'm going to put this on just a bit so this thing doesn't do anything dumb. That on. Yeah, I boogered the thread a little bit. Now it doesn't really want to turn. So, I need to get a die on that. Okay, so we've cleaned up the threads. And so we're going to try to reinstall this without doing that same thing again. Hoping this time, since I've kind of moved that bracket a little bit. Alright, let's try this again. Oh yeah, much better. Moment of truth. Will it work or not? It'll work. So that's how you do it, and then you just crank it down. So we're getting close to supper time, so we're probably gonna have to finish this up tomorrow. Where we left off before it was time for supper last time was break that loose and get that out, put the new one on, and then we're gonna torque it all down. I said you did a 1, 4, 2, 3 pattern as you tighten it up. And why do you do that? I didn't ever explain that. So if this is your plate, right? If you were to tighten 1 and 2 together, if you remember the numbering, if you had a plate with 4 bolts in it, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 up here in my pinky, and the back side of my wrist there that you see is 2. If you were to tighten that, it would do this to the plate, okay? And then when you did 3, 4, it would bind up, and that plate would never get flat, and so you would always kind of have an angle, and that suspension would never bounce out. But if you do 1, 4, now you got tension on that plate, and then you can do 2, 3 and get a good flat fit on that, and go ahead and torque it up to the specified value. So that's why you do that. Before we get into too much, I want to make sure that I got enough clearance between the frame rail here and the bottom of this, so that I can get A, the old one out, and B, the new one in. So I'm just going to take this new one, just kind of fiddle, make sure I can get it down in there. I think that's going to fit okay. So we're going to kind of put that, get that started somehow. Try to get that one in there. This one's going to be the tightest of the two, I think. It's just not going in there. Alright, so I'm just going to jack it up a little bit. Enough to try to get that socket on there, just to get a different. So this thing has a at some point it had a snow plow on the front, and that's what all this is right here. And so most people probably won't have that plate right there. It'll be a lot easier access. I haven't dropped it off yet. I don't know why. It's South Carolina. We're not going to get snow, and even if we do, I'm not going to need a snow plow. I don't even have the plow part. I just have all the hardware underneath here. But anyway, that got it. So I just had to kind of change that relationship a little bit. Put that on, kind of hold it, and there she goes. She's turning little by little. Point. Oh yeah, that's good and loose. So let's work on this other one. Yeah, not so much. And so we're just going to try to break that free. Now, I soaked these down for about 2 weeks in rust penetrator, yes. Just trying to break those years. I don't know, this may be original. I'm not sure. 30, 40 years at least of rust that are on there. Just trying to get through all that. And uh-oh, kid's screaming. He's running around crazy, doing his thing. So you gonna help Daddy? That'd be good. Alright, so we're just working on breaking this loose still. Just be careful, okay? Don't come under the Jeep with it. Yeah. One day, buddy, I hope you get to drive this around. You know, my granddaddy used to work on cars like this, and I wish he had made videos so I could watch him. At a different time, they didn't really have the technology we have, but sure do miss him. Now, you know, there's been times I wish he could sit here and work with me on this, but and I know I'm not your granddad, I'm just your dad, but I'm just saying, maybe at some point you'll have a son, and you'll show him these videos of where we were working on the Jeep. Yeah. So this is that's a lug nut, yeah, and your wheel goes right there, okay? And this is your brake. This is a drum brake, and so this stops it from rolling.
Hey.
Hi, Claire. What you got?
I found some hickory.
Oh, you found some hickory nuts.
Yeah.
Neat.
I found some right here.
And that's your brake line. That's your shock absorber. Yeah. That's the cool stuff, huh? And you're off to play. Okay. So we're going to work on that. Yeah, that's pretty loose right now. And so we're going to drop it down back onto that jack stand in hopes that when I take that loose, it just doesn't pop. Oh, hey, come back. So I didn't want to take it down that much. Kind of like to leave it close to where it needs to be. Alright, bud, don't touch it. Not to have tension on it, but in case something falls or something. It's going to be loud, guys. Wow, that was significant movement. I just didn't expect it to move that much. That whole thing just shifted. I definitely put that in tension. So now you can kind of see what I'm talking about moving and when you're tightening it up. And so that kind of broke free. Shifted. And that came off relatively easily. Old to the new, definitely longer. And this definitely has some differences. It's definitely flat right there. I don't know. It's definitely got a flat spot, and it looks like it was ground down at some point. So it may have just been from that blade hitting it, or whoever put that blade on may have ground it down for fitment down in there. Like I said, I don't know all the history of it. I know it was in Michigan. I know a service station had it at one point, and so you know, maybe they did that as part of it. I don't really know. Alright, so trying to show you, that's the Dana 25 right there. You can make it out 2.5. I've always heard that it was stamped on each hogshead is what I call them. I don't know, differential, but there it is. So if you're ever looking for yours, that's kind of probably where it might be. It's a 25, so that shows that I have a Dana 25. Definitely cool to see that. Put this on and see what we get. Well, it didn't go all the way down, but I think if I just tap it, that's pretty close. Alright,
will take it. Anytime you get a win like that, yes sir. Okay, so the genius I am, the camera cut off before and I didn't realize it, so I didn't record finishing it up. So where we stopped was I was just putting this in right here, and so the next step would just to be put the nuts on there, which is what I did, and kind of shored up everything. And then from there, remember we did a 1, 4, 2, 3 pattern, so I just ran that up with, I believe it was a 5/8 socket with the impact, just so I went 1 and ran that up, and then 4 ran that up, 2 ran that up, and then 3 ran that up, just to kind of tighten it up and get a little tension on it. But I did not like kind of just really put a lot of torque on it. And then I put the torque wrench on it and took them all to torque after that point. And so again, I did the 1, 4, 2, 3 pattern, and what that does is that keeps that plate flat, and so that you don't get a cock one way or the other on that. So that's kind of how we did it. Hopefully that's helpful for you. This channel is just all about putting out resources for folks doing rebuilds and maintenance on their classic cars, Jeeps, and really everyday drivers. So anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe and like button below. Leave any comments below. If you hit that subscribe button right below, you'll get notified every time that we put something new up, and hopefully that will help you on your build and your next project. So anyway, y'all take care. It's time for supper. Oh look, it's on still.